right now on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
The Secrets of the Chefs.
We're pairing Kentucky's favorite foods with Kentucky's favorite drink.
And it's delicious.
Come with us out to eat and inside the kitchen at Makers Mark Bourbon House and Lounge. The head chef is cooking with bourbon and revealing his best secrets to Southern-style comfort food.
We're going all the way. We're going all the way.
Plus, a brand new way to make the classic old-fashioned. Using beer? Secrets revealed at Makers Mark right now on Secrets of Louisville Chefs.
Love it.
Hey everybody, Kevin Harned with you again with more Secrets of Louisville Chefs, the show that takes you out to eat and into the kitchens of your favorite local restaurants. This time, we're at the heart of downtown at 4th Street Live at a landmark for bourbon lovers, Makers Mark Bourbon House and Lounge. As you might guess from the name, there's no shortage of whiskey here, and Makers Mark, well, that's just the beginning of the bourbon selections.
We have 83 different bourbons last time I counted.
Very long list.
And to us locals, the list should be pretty familiar.
You get the big names, Maker's Mark, Jim Beam, Blanton's, Elmer T. Lee, Eagle Rare. Just people who grew up in Kentucky and know bourbon are going to know those names. And we try to keep as many in stock as we possibly can.
Of course, the bourbon is just the beginning of what makes Makers so alluring. There's also a lot of fine food.
The food's awesome.
The food is outstanding.
Call it country cooking with an upscale metropolitan twist.
I grew up on country fried steak. Never liked it.
Chef Raymond Ramirez is upgrading all the old Southern classics. You've probably never had country fried steak like he does it.
What I did is I took the scraps basically that I used that I cut off a tenderloin, and I pounded out a little bit. We marinate it, and we soak it in a little bit of buttermilk after that, and we fry it. And it's as tender as can be. It's not that rough top round steak that you would normally get, and we do it with a little Southern red-eye gravy.
He has a lot of the classics on the menu too.
We have everything from the New York strip to the filet. We have venison on the menu. We have the scallops. We have ruby red trout. We have just a lot of variances.
Coming up, Chef Ray reveals the secrets to his slow-cooked short ribs, plus a roasted squash salad that's easy to do at home, and Kentucky-inspired scallops. Scallops spiked with bourbon.
And it's delicious.
It's very delicious.
Bourbon shows up in all kinds of dishes on the menu, and it's all over the cocktail menu too.
We have 16 different cocktails on our cocktail menu. 6 classic, your old-fashioned, sidecars, B&Bs, the ones that people have heard of that have been around since Prohibition or longer, and then 10 signature cocktails that we've created in-house.
One of those signatures is this, an old-fashioned made with bourbon and beer. Gonna find out the secrets to that coming up. First though, we go into the kitchen with the executive chef, Raymond Ramirez. He comes to Kentucky from Texas, but his roots have actually always been here in the bluegrass.
My grandmother was from here. I was actually born in Louisville, Kentucky. My parents were in the oil industry, and so in the early 70s, of course, the place to be was Houston, Texas. So that's where we ended up.
As Grandma got older, Chef Ray came home to help her out. He went to culinary school here, and yeah, he's been in the bluegrass ever since. That Kentucky connection shows up in a lot of Chef Ray's cuisine. He's no stranger to good bourbon, and he's not afraid to cook with it either.
About 10 dishes that have bourbon influenced into it some way or another.
Bourbon is big in the Makers Mark kitchen, but it's not the only spirit Chef Ray is cooking with.
Well, being from that I'm from Houston, and I like a little tequila here and there.
Tequila shows up in the dressing for this roasted squash salad.
I love the taste of butternut squash. It has a natural sugar to it.
The salad's wonderful.
Really nicely balanced and delicious.
And so hopefully you'll like it as well. Basically, it's a bed of spinach with some butternut squash that we've just roasted off, and it just goes well with this. It's got country ham and fried tobacco onions with a cilantro tequila vinaigrette.
Butternut squash might look a bit intimidating, but it's actually pretty easy to work with when you know the secrets.
Basically, if you're going to do this at home, you want to take it, shave it, shave all the outer side of it, cut it down the middle, and there you have it. You would want to remove the seeds, and then basically you would just want to dice it up. Just make dice evenly so that when you throw it in the oven, it cooks evenly. And there you go. So we take some, put it in a bowl, and just put some oil in it, toss it around, salt and pepper. Put it in the oven about 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Just check it, make sure it's got a little bit of browning on it. This is your final product. Just roast it off.
From there, well, it's as easy as making the bed.
So basically what we have is some baby spinach. We're gonna make a bed. So basically what I do is I just make a little bed of this on top. Here's a country ham. We'll use a local country ham. The only difference between this and a regular ham, it's got a little bit more saltiness to it. The way they cure them is in a kind of a smokehouse, creates a lot of salt. So it's very tasty, but you need to use it sparingly because it can be a little bit overpowering. So we're just gonna put just a little bit of country ham all throughout here. And take a little bit of our cilantro, tequila, lime vinaigrette.
The dressing is a simple 3-to-1 ratio. Now that's 3 parts oil, 1 part vinegar, and a little tequila to taste.
The tequila, you can use as much as you would like. Use it kind of sparingly. You just want to get that little taste of the agave in there. And same with the cilantro. So then I'm going to take a little bit of the vinaigrette and just spread it all over so that it gets all over. And then we're going to top it with some of our fried tobacco onions. And there you have the country salad.
I really enjoyed the salad.
The sweetness of the squash and the saltiness of the ham.
I would have never thought that roasted squash could taste as good as it did.
It was very delicious.
You gotta love the twist Chef Ray puts into his food. And we're gonna see a lot more coming up. Right now, though, well, it's time to check out a new twist on the Old Fashioned from bar manager Allison Longano.
This Old Fashioned is going to be a little bit different. It's a Blue Moon Old Fashioned. The classic Old Fashioned takes an orange slice, a cherry, a little bit of brown sugar, dash of bitters, soda water, and Makers. Makers Mark is a wheated bourbon, so we thought that wheated beer would go really well with it. You start with a couple orange slices, a little bit of brown sugar. That actually almost gives it a maple flavor. Just a couple dashes of your regular bitters here. And then we're gonna throw Blue Moon in here. And you just muddle it so you can really open up all of the flavors that are going into this Old Fashioned.
From here, just add ice and, of course, bourbon.
Just gonna do 1.5 ounces of Maker's Mark. And then top it with a little bit more Blue Moon. Give it a stir to open everything up. Then you are ready to enjoy. And that is a Blue Moon Old Fashioned.
A brand new twist on the classic Old Fashioned. If you're a bourbon lover, you gotta give this a try. And you'll want to stay tuned for more secrets from the kitchen at Maker's Mark Bourbon House and Lounge. Coming up next, it's another unlikely pairing.
Everything's better with bacon and bourbon.
Bacon and bourbon come together to create a fresh take on sea scallops. And later, the secrets to slow-roasted short ribs with Brussel sprouts that anyone can fall in love with. Stay with us for more Secrets of Louisville Chefs coming up. Welcome back to Secrets of Louisville Chefs. Right here from 4th Street Live, I'm Kevin Harnett. We've come here in search of fine food, and we've found it, along with a lot of good bourbon, too. The Maker's Mark Bourbon House and Lounge is a stockpile of Kentucky's finest. There are more than 80 whiskeys on the shelf, and that draws people here from all over.
Oh, we get everyone. We get locals, we get people from all over the world. We've had Aussies and Germans and people from California, Michigan, Maine, everywhere. They come here for bourbon.
And around Derby time, this is one of the hottest spots in town. And every time a celebrity comes in, you can bet they'll be signing a souvenir bottle.
Tim Couch signed his own bottle the last time he was in. We've got a Rick Pitino bottle up there. Adam Vinatieri, ZZ Top.
We saw Pauly Shore, he came in one time.
And when they come in from out of town in the springtime, they always seem to go for the classic.
Mint juleps, obviously. That's the big drink of Derby. Most people come in and ask for mint juleps.
They make juleps the old-fashioned way, so they're some of the best in town. But there are plenty of other ways to enjoy bourbon here.
A wide variety of different ways to taste bourbon.
They serve all the classics and a lot of new age whiskey drinks too, with some unique ingredients.
Different flavored bitters, chocolate, rhubarb, just trying to keep it fresh and different and give people something a little bit different than what they're typically looking for when they come in.
And that theme carries over to the kitchen, where Chef Ray Ramirez is coming up with some new and tasty ways to use bourbon in food.
It's something we do enjoy cooking with.
Watch now as the chef reveals the secrets to his bourbon seared scallops.
It's actually not that tough. It really isn't. So here we have all these ingredients, and we're gonna render this bacon. Take the bacon strip out and just make some strips for you. It'll cook a lot quicker, and you'll render a lot of the fat out. And so what I mean by rendering the fat out is the fat in the bacon is basically going to cook, and it's going to melt all of those juices into the pan. You want to start adding a lot of your other ingredients, shiitake mushrooms, your carrots, red peppers, onions, parsley, and some of your thyme. I actually like to add just a little bit of butter. Not a lot. I think you still have to be health conscious in everything that you do, but it sure does taste good. You want to add your corn. Typically you want to use a fresh, white, typically sweet corn. Let all those flavors kind of marry together. Anything you do in cooking, you want to mount your flavors by layers. And then we just want to add a little seasoning.
Seasoning in the way of salt and pepper.
And that's basically your end product. And I'm going to taste it and make sure my seasoning is correct. I like the way it is, so I'm going to leave it like that. So now we're going to heat up the pan for the scallops. You always want to get your pan as hot as possible. And what I mean by that is when you have your oil in there, you want to get it to at least your smoking point so that it gets that really nice sear. Personally, I like grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil has a very high smoke point, and it's not going to overwhelm any kind of the flavors in the pan. It's a very neutral flavor. It's very healthy for you too, very low in calories. A lot of people would salt and pepper their scallops. Personally, I don't. The reason being is because of the natural salt in the sea. I'm going to sit these scallops in here, and you can hear it right away start to get that sear on there. That nice sound. When cooking scallops, you just want to see on the bottom side, when you see some kind of a browning, just a nice sear that you get, that's when you want to flip them. You don't want to really cook scallops all the way. To me, they kind of dry out. They're rubbery, tough, just like shrimp. You overcook them, they're just not very good. But if you look right here, you can see a little browning right there on the bottom. And so that's a good indicator that they're getting a good, nice sear. Yeah, so this is the kind of sear that you really want. Nice, brown, evenly. So we're almost there. From here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of shallots. We're gonna let that saute off a little bit. And then we're gonna add bourbon, the Maker's Mark, okay? A little bit of bourbon. So we're just gonna flambe all that alcohol off just to get a little bit of that oaky flavor that comes along with the bourbon.
Next, something less explosive, but still very flavorful.
Seafood stock readily available as well. You can get it in any grocery. It's gonna help build a little bit of our sauce, and then we're gonna mount a little bit of the sauce with butter. We're gonna season the sauce itself. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of this corn mixture, put it directly kind of the top of the plate.
A seared scallop goes right on top of that.
Kind of lean it on there. We're gonna take some of our jus that we made with the bourbon and just pour it right on top. And for a garnish, what we do here is we use a little bit of gaufrette. And a gaufrette is basically a latticed potato that's been fried.
This looks complicated, but it's actually easy to do yourself with the right tool.
Yeah, a little bit of secret there is you need a mandolin. Come down here and I'll do it for you. It makes things a little bit easier.
Southern style seared scallops spiked with bourbon, impossible to resist.
I like the chef's secret of just relying on the natural flavor of the scallop instead of trying to overpower it with salt.
Well, I really enjoyed the scallop. It had a wonderful crust on it.
Fantastic.
More secrets of Louisville chefs are still ahead.
Okay.
Next, the secrets to making anyone a Brussels sprouts lover.
Brussel Sprouts, that's my favorite.
Plus, Southern comfort food at its finest. Chef Ray reveals the secrets to his short ribs, so you can do it at home. Much more from Makers Mark Bourbon House and Lounge coming up on Secrets of Louisville Chefs. Hey everybody, Kevin Harned with you again, this time from 4th Street Live, which we all know is a popular destination for tourists and popular for locals too, especially if you're a bourbon fan. Jim Beam has its global business center here. You can't miss it as you drive by 4th and Liberty. And closer to the other end of the block is the Makers Mark Bourbon House and Lounge, where they serve more than 80 different bourbons and a lot of fine food too.
I think we're probably the only restaurant down here that's putting out that kind of caliber of food. And then of course our bourbon. There's nobody else down on 4th Street that has that kind of bourbon selection.
It's a great place to sit back, relax, and indulge.
Well, the atmosphere is incredible.
We have a fireplace here. It's a little bit different than your normal 4th Street Live kind of place.
The food here is a bit different as well. It's Southern style fine dining with a contemporary twist. Head chef Raymond Ramirez created the menu, drawing inspiration from his past.
I actually used to sit in the kitchen with my mother and my grandmother. They used to make everything from scratch.
That was in Kentucky, but then he moved to Texas. And after getting a taste of fine dining at his high school prom, Chef Ray decided that would be his career.
Once I was in the kitchen, I fell in love with it.
Decades later, he still has that passion, and he's learned a lot of secrets along the way, like how to make Brussels sprouts that just about anyone will like, and how to make perfect fork tender short ribs to go with them.
I like fork tender.
Perfect comfort meal on a cold day.
So with the short rib, it comes on the bone. We usually take the bones and we use them for something else. We season the meat, put it in flour, we sear them, and put them into this braising liquid is what we call it. Our braising liquid is red wine, beef stock, carrots, celery, onion, thyme, garlic cloves, peppercorns, bay leaves. So basically this is your short rib. Basically we took it off the bone, braised it for 9 hours. I could not stand Brussels sprouts. Literally, I would not eat them.
Later in life, things changed for Chef Ray when he tasted Brussels sprouts infused with a few secret ingredients. Ingredients that Chef Raymond still uses today.
For me, it was a big turning point. I loved them ever since.
The Brussels sprouts, that's my favorite.
Tender, and probably have gone up to the top of my Brussels sprout list.
So here's our Brussels sprouts. You got to kind of clean them up a little bit. Take off the base, take that down, and then go right down the middle. And that's it. You can peel off a little bit of the leaves, however you want. Very easy. And so there you have it. You can either steam it or boil it.
The first secret to turning Brussels sprout haters into lovers is this. What else? Bacon.
I'm just going to add a little bit of bacon. You basically want to render the bacon till a lot of the fat is out. Get it crispy. It really depends on how you like it. I like extra crispy bacon, so I'm going to render it out quite a bit. I've caramelized some onions ahead of time. It's real easy. Just a Spanish onion, cut it up and put it in a pan with a little bit of oil and on, I would say, a medium heat. Just let it sit there and get the natural sugars of the onions come out. And you'll end up with a very brown onion, which is, it almost has an extremely sweet flavor to it. And I have some Brussels sprouts that are already cooked off. When I boil them and I get them to the consistency that I like, I shock them in ice water. Keeps that nice green color to them. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit of my Brussels sprouts. Toss those around just to get a lot of that bacon juice on them. Let's go ahead and add some butter. Just not any butter. This is a sage butter. So basically what I've done is I've taken sage and I have basically let my butter get extremely soft, put it in a bowl, chopped all my sage up, and just mixed the sage into it. And we're just gonna finish this off with a little sage butter. And of course, salt and pepper.
That's it for the sprouts. Watch now as Chef Ray puts the final touches on the short ribs and puts it together on the plate.
Here I have some demi-glace. The demi-glace is gonna take quite a bit of time. Typically it takes at least about a good 24 to 48 hours to get a good demi-glace to exactly where you want to, the consistency.
The demi is made from roasted veal bones, which are slow cooked with vegetables and water for literally a day or two.
Anything that takes 24 to 48 hours, you know it's gotta be tasty. You do it for flavor, you do it for the love. I'm gonna add my demi-glace.
As the beef basks in the rich sauce, Chef Ray begins the plate presentation with a scoop of garlic mashed potatoes.
So I think it goes well with the red wine, the Brussels sprouts. And literally, we're just gonna angle this up onto the mashed potatoes. We're gonna pour our sauce over there. And we just do a little bit of the Brussels sprouts all the way around. And for me, you gotta have all that bacon and onion in there, or it's just not worth it. You ready to eat?
The short rib was really phenomenal. It was definitely one of those things that you could taste the time that went into it.
It melted in your mouth. It was delicious.
The short rib was amazing.
Taste the wine and the vegetables, and it all just came together with the mashed potatoes.
I thought the short ribs were incredible.
Short ribs, southern as they get.
Thanks to Chef Raymond and Allison behind the bar. Hope you've gotten some good secrets that you can use at home. Or just take Ray's advice.
If you don't want to make it tough at all, just come down and see me, and I'll do it for you. It makes it clean up a lot easier.
For more information on the Makers Mark Bourbon House and Lounge, we invite you to visit our website. It's newlocaltv.com. There you'll find a complete restaurant guide to our great city, recipes, and full episodes of our shows. We'll see you next time on Secrets of Louisville Chefs. I'm Kevin Harned for all of us at B&B Productions.